Yes, they call me Mr. Monster because I drink a lot of Monster.
The yellow mud?
And after 12 o'clock, I'm still drinking another can of Monster.
Well, that's what I call supporter of Rakish show, because after all, I have the yellow mud, so I am along with you after midnight drinking the yellow mud. So what's happening out there, Mr. X?
Well, right now, really quick on the Monster thing, I'm just hoping to drink enough Monster so I don't happen to, fall asleep while we're on the phone here.
I did that last night, and people were pissed.
No.
Yeah,
I couldn't imagine that.
I did. I dozed off because those two were talking, and I thought they were going to have a lovely time. So I was like, fuck this, I'm going to bed. But that was unpleasant.
Well, so I don't want to keep too long. I see you got a lot of people watching, a lot through the links. Last time I was on a long time. I think I might have went in too many different directions, and there's definitely crickets, I think, by the end. But so, I don't want to turn it into a bash fest or things like that. There's some things that I'll say that'll make people happy. There's some things I'm going to say that'll make people upset. And I guarantee you, after some of the things I'm going to say, everyone will be surprised because you won't see this one coming. Now, one of the things I want to say is I went and disabled the videos that I had posted. And before I tell you why, I really quick just want to tell you the reasons I had made those videos. One of the first reasons was the unit itself. I was so disgusted by when I opened that up. And we all know which units I'm talking about. And, of course, I haven't said who built them, and I won't say who built them, whether you guys know or not. I'm still not saying. But I was disgusted when I opened it, because the person that made it, sold it as a comp amp. The customer bought it as a comp amp. I opened it up, and in my opinion, it was less than that. So I did it because of that. But one of the big reasons, I did it because I thought it gave a black eye to the few of us out here who actually build comp amps and run comp amps. So when he did this, it was like, dude, there's only a couple of us left in the world. Why did you do this? And then the other reason, which I'm actually kind of, I'll admit, I shouldn't have done it. The third reason shouldn't be in it at all. And it was because it was a personal reason. I did it for a little bit of revenge, a little bit of justice, and it was for the lies and the backstabbing that this person has perpetrated against me, over and over. Even within minutes of standing in front of me and saying, oh, the hatchet's buried, we're good. And, you turn around and see him walk over there. And, people come over, my friends that were over there go, do you know what he just said? So there was some personal reason. But that's kind of why I disabled them. But the other reason is there's been some things that have come out of these videos that I didn't intend for. I'll be honest. I'm going to defend Danny in a minute here, and that's what's going to shock people. If you could imagine an assembly line, and there's guys working on the assembly line, and each guy has a little job, and he does his job, and the thing moves down the assembly line. Well, there's also people that design the assembly line. There's people that design the product that went down the assembly line. There's people that did that have a lot of time underneath their belt. So some of the things I've seen happen after I put out these videos was people who I would, and like I said, I don't mean to hurt anybody's feelings, but this is just my personal opinion. I've seen people who I would say are, there are guys who work on the assembly line. They've been working on the assembly line for about 3 days, and they watch a video and they turn around and they try to pick at something that was done by somebody who, even though I may not like that person too much, I don't hate them, I might not like them too much, I might not agree with some things that they did, but I definitely will say that that person paid his dues in the years and time that they put into it. And I'd say this about anybody that's put their time in. You know, when you got somebody that's got easily 10 times more time invested than all these other people that were out there, you know, throwing up their hands after the videos came out to try and jump on bandwagons, you go, wait a second, you know, this guy that I went and made these videos about what he did with this product, I was doing it, and I will say it from peer to peer. Me and him have been around for, you know, 20, 30 years doing this stuff. I didn't agree with what he did, and I drew on all that experience and all those building time. So to see, you know, that, you know, like I said, an assembler with 3 days experience try and jump on that wagon, it's like, I got to pull these videos down, because I'm also looking at some of these videos that got posted, and the exact same words that came out of my mouth are being said in these videos and in a lot of these posts. And it's like, wait a second. These people never let those words out of their mouth in any of their other posts, because I just spent the last, you know, day or so, as a matter of fact, even a few minutes before calling in, like I texted you, I was finalizing some stuff. I was watching one last video that I wanted to watch. I wanted to see and research everything. And it's like, well, how come these words didn't come out of their mouth any time before when looking at this stuff or when copying it or whatever they were doing? But now I make 4 little videos against somebody who's got time invested like me, kind of in a way a peer. I'll be narcissistic here and I'll say not an equal, but, you know, someone who's got that time invested. So I did that critique harshly at points because of that third reason I told you, getting a little bit of revenge for the backstabbing that was stabbed on me. Okay, but nevertheless, I critiqued in a manner using all that, and to see that those words get reused and pointed out. Then you watch some of the things and you're like, wait a second, what? You know, as I'm watching what other people are saying, and I'm like, oh my God, you know, we truly live in a world now that's driven by 2 things: social media, which is opinion, and video documentation, which doesn't necessarily have to have any truth, any factual truth behind it. So you start looking at it, and I could give a quick example of factual truth. Say a guy gets on and goes, hey, I photobombed somebody in this video, and then they went on and lost, and he kept sticking on it. Now, I'm saying this, not ripping on him for doing that, but it's a good example we all saw. And then, you know, that's his version of the truth. And the other person comes and goes, well, no, here's the factual truth. Watch the next 3 minutes of the video, and you'll actually see what happened, you know, and we can rewind it, and, you know, so there's that factual truth, non-truth. But we live in this world where people are shopping around for the truth they want to find, the truth they believe in. So they know what the truth is before they go looking for it, and then they find it and they stick with it. So not that I want to stand on a soapbox too long. I don't want to run off at the mouth for an hour about all this. It's just, you know, a lot of these things I see, and a lot of it, you know, is a lot of it's boiled up after I threw these videos out there. But also there's a lot of it, I think, that was waiting to boil up. That maybe that was the catalyst that really bubbled a bunch of stuff to the surface. And seeing these things come out of it that I don't agree with, I'm going to pull back the videos for right now, and we'll just let everything bubble on, and that way there's no more, you know, they can't reference that. So anyone that wants to go forward and show something, let's see, you know, let's hear some factual data, something that they can back up with numbers and information. And there's things I want to say, and there's stuff I want to point out in all these other videos, but I think the easiest way to point all of it out at once is put logic into anything that you see, anything you hear. use logic. Try to look at things in a logical point of view. You know, like, I'm going to touch real quick on that 12-foot coax thing. You know, you didn't use the right jumper length that made the amplifier blow up. Here's some quick logic. If the coax was wrong and it caused a reflected watts problem, an SWR problem, that would be on the driver. It would be like saying, okay, I've got my radio, I've got this wrong length of coax, and I've got my antenna. And because I have this wrong length of coax, when I key up my radio, my antenna exploded. But if you had the wrong length of coax, logic says, well, we work with reflected. What's the reflection on the radio? So if that's the problem, and you keyed up the radio, the antenna wouldn't blow up. The thing that's being reflected on would blow up. So, you know, it's just putting simple logic. And we all walk around every day, and we see things. People might come up to us and show us something, and we look at it and we're like, that's bullshit. You know, or you look at it and you're like, yeah, okay, I believe that. All kinds of, and I'm not even talking radio. I'm just talking, we can all see it. We see it every day on TV, in the newspaper. Some guy standing there talking shit. You know, you listen to what he says and you're like, yeah, right, whatever. You can see all these red flags. You apply your logic that you've drawn on. But it seems that when we get out here, we get into the social media, get into this YouTube, we get into CB, all the logic goes out the window. The flashy stuff we see in videos, we believe. The red flags automatically, magically turn green. I think once people might have heard me say, you know, go get your wife and bring her over and bounce that off of her and see what she says about it, you know. You're going to pay for something as a gift with friends and family? You know, if that guy was honest, he would want to protect you. He would tell you to send it his goods and services. You know, that protects you sending the money. Go ask your wife that. You know, why are you sending all that money as a gift? Oh, you don't want to pay the fee. Okay. That's like buying a car and saying, you know, I spent all this money on a brand new car. I'm going to save a little bit of money and not get any kind of warranty once I drive it off. You know, there's no repercussions. Let me just pay the dealer cash for my new car and drive away. And if a wheel falls off when I pull out on the street, oh, well, nothing I can do. There's no way, you know, the dealer didn't protect me by saying you should buy a warranty, you should pay for it with something that's trackable and have repercussions, you know, credit or, you know, goods and services. So, you know, just be careful with some of these red flags. And I'm not doing any of this to try and bolster my business. Don't let anybody say that. Don't let anybody think that. Because me getting out here and talking right now will cost me money. Me talking like this will cause people to actively try and attack me in the background, which will cause me to lose sales. But you know what? If all you people out there listening pick up any bit of logic towards what goes on, if you were able to go and do something with this hobby, this great hobby, this dying quickly hobby, if you're able to do something and you successfully navigate through a problem, an issue, around a pitfall, you don't get screwed on something, whatever, and it means that you actually stay in the hobby, then I've done everything I can because I love this hobby. That's why I did what I did, Lex. I did it because I love it. You know, this isn't a money thing. This is a love thing. So this whole situation, all this stuff that happens, it gets upsetting. But all right, well, I think I probably stood on the soapbox long enough. How long have I been up here, Rakish? An hour? 2 hours? Did you lose all your viewers yet?
Never long enough. Never long enough. Because what you're saying is, as it is, pure, clear, where everybody can understand it, with no accent and no fuckery behind it. But, you know, this is what it takes. This is what it takes, people, to do what's right. It takes people having to go away from their own personal lives. Imagine, this man is working all day, every day, trying to build you a product that's going to make you enjoy this great hobby. And then he has to come over here and spend his precious time away from doing whatever he desires to try to tell you some logic, which he just did. You have to understand, this is the stuff that makes and that breaks certain things in life. But if he's willing to jeopardize his own livelihood by saying what he feels is right, he deserves respect for it. Because that's what makes people great. That they don't look at the money value. They go beyond that. The money is one thing, but common sense is another thing. And if he's willing to jeopardize the money in order to save you from the fuckery, you make that thing thought for yourself. Even if you hate, you still have self-conscious. And that self-conscious is going to say, hey, you know, I don't like Arlyn, I think he's a shitbag, whatever, but I got to say this. I feel like that he said the truth. So what am I going to do? I'm going to ignore the truth and I'm going to continue to push the fuckery because I'm a piece of shit. Be my guest. Do that. Simple as that. You know, and if you think that you're going to send messages now to Arlyn and threaten him, go ahead. Show your true face. Show what you people do the best. Because now the light is being really out there. And it's shining right at those people. Tin Man didn't deserve those messages. He didn't deserve them. To threaten a man for honestly giving a review of your amplifier, this is your product. When you sell it, everybody can take it and do whatever they want with it. Because it is their money. But I know why people do it. I know why they do it. You know, Mr. Arlyn, you know, crazy shit happening lately. But we're going to somehow get to that. We're going to get to it. Where everybody can continue with their lives and stuff like that. But I think we've done our part. You've done your part. Everybody in here done their part. The only part that hasn't been done is the CB community hasn't shown them where the door is. And that's what needs to happen. They need to show them where the door is. You know, they don't trust this goat humper where the door is, but I'm sure that they're going to trust the CB community where the door is.
You know, Rakish, I just wanted to say two more things before I get out of here.
Always.
All right?
Go
I'm
ahead.
the king of one more thing. The one thing is, when I came on earlier, I'm sorry if I said anything that may have made anybody upset or offended anybody. I think I swore a few times.
There is no such thing as...
I was upset with getting blindsided by something so silly. You know, it's like no good deed goes unpunished. And I've done several good deeds for somebody, and it's like I think they decided they were going to start taking advantage of it.
Don't blame the guy. Don't blame the guy. Don't blame the guy. He got forced for it. He got what he deserves.
Yeah, I felt bad about the way I got on there and jumped, and then I had to jump back out. And
no,
then,
you did right.
You know, and for those people that do try and call me, I want you to understand a couple things that I do not like. I don't believe that anybody should be booking work 6 months, 8 months, a year ahead and taking people's money and say, you know, people shouldn't be booking work that far ahead. I don't believe in that. So when I get a certain level of work, I try and back away a little from the phone because I love the hobby so much. When I get on the phone, I start talking. I talk with people, and I try to make them happy by building what they want. And now I also talk people out of buying things because there's sometimes people call and it's like, man, you just don't want to do that, you know, and it winds up that they, you know, we get off the phone call and hopefully I educated them, but I lost a sale. But, you know, so I wind up spending time doing this stuff, helping to educate people as much as I can because I love it so much. And it'll tend to take away from me focusing on some of the other work that I need to get done. So then all of a sudden I start getting behind and then people start getting upset. So at times I'm difficult to get a hold of on the phone. I'm not really quick to respond to text messages or emails. It's because I'm focusing on the stuff that people really get mad about, and that's not getting what they wanted the way they wanted it. So and I've said that before, not like it's a big problem, but some of this other stuff I see going on, I just like to lay that out there. So when someone goes, man, I've been trying to get a hold of them, it's because I'm over here trying to get this done. You know, if I'm over here on the phone with you 7 times today saying, no, I haven't checked it yet. No, I haven't checked it yet. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. And my soldering iron's in my hand. I'm trying to solder it. Can I hang up the phone and finish? And when I'm done, I'll call you back. You know, so I just wind up putting the phone over there and being like, okay, I'll get to it later. So whether that's right or wrong, that's just the way I do it. And I want people to know that. So, but hey, Rakish, thanks for having me on the show. I'll listen in a little bit here. I got a couple things to do, and then I'll be headed up to the rack, and I'll keep my headset on and listen in until I gracefully pass out and drool all over myself.
Well, thanks, Mr. X. Always a pleasure hearing your voice out here on Rakish News Network. And yeah, man, I mean, this is what it is about. You know, we can all set microphones aside and amplifiers now. We can tune in here, and we can talk some common sense. We can talk about fuckery. We can talk about everything. But these are the facts. This is what it is. This is how it is in real life with normal people. The fact that we have people who are just not seeing the point, you know, riding somebody's product, and then down the road realizing that these people will dump you just like they dumped others, is exactly what you need to experience. They will teach you a lesson. Don't back up something you don't know the whole truth about. Only when you know for 100%, do it, regardless of what happens. And I see a lot of people jumping on the bandwagon. They're jumping on the bandwagon of some people because now they see an opportunity to get back at some of us who have been doing great and who have given them no room to expand their fuckery. If you're going to do that, if you're going to be, I'm going to give a couple examples. Anthony Corino, if you're going to be Tammy Butthurt, if you're going to be one of those guys out there and you're going to jump this bandwagon, understand you're only being used and abused till it's time to poop shoot that kind of that cock. And then you're going to be still standing there by yourself, as always, looking for somebody to give you friendship, which you will never gain because of the reasons and the things that you do. Mr. X, I wish you a great night. Thanks for having you here, brother. We're still gonna go on, and hopefully you don't go crazy with all this fuckery, because.
Nah, I won't. Hey, Rakish, one quick question. I know you drive.
Mm-hmm.
When you're driving and, look at your truck like a tool, right? That's how you make your money. That's your tools.
That's exactly.
And you're sitting there, you're backed up to the dock, you're waiting, getting loaded, and you look over and you see somebody trying to back up.
Right.
And you see them try and back up again.
Right.
And they try and back up again and again and again. When you see that, what do you think about that person's use of that tool? Does that show skilled? Well, when you see that,
first thing is going to,
that guy knows how to use that tool.
First thing is going to always happen is going to tell me of his experience in using the tool, and if I see that he's really struggling with it, my first option is to reach out and offer a helping hand. But with that, you have to also understand, sometimes because of liabilities issues or other things, you don't want to get involved, because what if you do something that causes them further harm? So I know where you're going with this. A lot of people get your point. It's, time is money. Time is money in every business. It's the work we put, the effort we do to do what's right. And the better of the job you do, the better off you are. But doing a job fast doesn't always mean the best work, because when you do something fast, when you don't measure 5 times and you cut afterwards, you sometimes can cause yourself problems. That's why those builders who put out amplifiers in minutes doesn't mean that they're better because they're doing it that way. Only means that they put enough room in there now that there might be issues. When you're building somebody's product, you have to take your time. That's why it's time consuming. It's because you want to test it, you want to make sure everything is in line before the product goes. Because after all, it's up to the end user of how he's going to use it. But again, all this 12-foot jumpers, all this stupidity, it's just another way of somebody trying to go and cut corners. Do it right. It's not the co-exception.
You know, when you see somebody doing that, and they're doing that, and you go, like you said, it tells right there what they know about it.
Exactly.
I'll tell you, I see that all the time with oscilloscopes and spectrum analyzers and the way people show people them.
Right.
And it's like, okay. All right, hey, I'll let you go. I'm going to leave that.
Thank you, brother.
I'll see you. Have a great night.
You too, my friend.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye.